Did you know 1 in 7 March Madness fans fake illnesses just to watch the tournament? Or did you know during the tournament, an estimated 3.4 billion fake emails are sent out by scammers to steal from fans? Stay tuned until the end so you don't miss out on any facts, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss videos like this. Women's basketball budgets are about 45% smaller than men's basketball budgets, based on the latest financial data obtained from roughly 80% of the public schools in the NCAA women's basketball tournament. In the men's tournament, a conference receives one unit, worth more than $339,000 this year, when a member school plays a game, except for the national championship game. But there aren't similar payouts tied to success in the women's tournament. Perfect bracket odds. The odds of filling out a perfect bracket by randomly selecting winners are astronomically low, estimated at around 1 in 9.2 quintillion. That's 9.2 followed by 18 zeros. First African American to play in March Madness. In 1944, Harold Hunter became the first African American to play in the NCAA tournament. He played for Loyola University, Chicago. Origins of March Madness. The term March Madness was first used to describe the Illinois High School Association, the IHSA, basketball tournament in the 1930s. It wasn't until 1982 that CBS broadcaster Brent Musburger popularized the term when referring to the NCAA tournament. Tournament revenue. March Madness generates significant revenue, with broadcasting rights alone bringing in billions of dollars. The NCAA distributes much of this revenue to member institutions and conferences. First tournament. The very first NCAA men's basketball tournament happened in 1939 and had just 8 teams. In 2024, it's grown to include 68 teams. UCLA. UCLA has won the most NCAA men's basketball championships with 11 titles, making them the top school in history. Kentucky comes in second with 8 titles, followed by North Carolina with 6, and Indiana, Duke, and UConn with 5. Villanova. In 1985, Villanova pulled off a big surprise by winning the NCAA tournament as the lowest-ranked team ever with a number 8 seed. Maryland-Baltimore County. Back in 2018, Maryland-Baltimore County made history by being the first number 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed, taking down Virginia in the first round. Overall, top-seeded teams have won 135 times and lost only once against number 16 seeds. Final Four. Only once did all 4 top-seeded teams make it to the Final Four, and that was in 2008, with Kansas, Memphis, North Carolina, and UCLA. Kansas ended up winning the tournament. 2 number 1 seeds. Since 1985, there have been 7 instances where 2 number 1 seeded teams faced off in the championship game, with the latest in 2017 when North Carolina beat Gonzaga. Out of 34 games, a top-seeded school has won the tournament 20 times during this period. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal holds the record for the most blocked shots in a single NCAA tournament game. He swatted away 11 of BYU's attempts in the first round of the 1992 tournament. 111-game winning streak. In the 2017 Women's Final Four, the University of Mississippi snapped the University of Connecticut's 111-game winning streak with a buzzer beater. Illinois. In the 2005 NCAA tournament, Illinois pulled off an incredible comeback against Arizona in the Elite Eight. Despite being the top seed with a 35-1 record, they were down by 15 points with less than 4 minutes left. Miraculously, Illinois made a stunning 20-5 comeback, pushing the game into overtime and eventually winning by just 1 point. It was a remarkable turnaround. David Robinson. Since Carr's 1971 game, David Robinson is the only player to score 50 goals in a single game. Broadcast rights. CBS and Time Warner joined forces to secure the broadcast rights for the tournament until 2024. The hefty price tag for this deal, a whopping $10.8 billion. Atlantic Coast Conference, ACC. In 2019, the ACC achieved a rare feat by having 3 number 1 seeds, Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina. The only other time this happened was in 2009 when the Big East had 3 number 1 seeds, Louisville, Connecticut, and Pittsburgh. 5th seed team. No team seeded 5th has ever won the men's tournament. Most assists. North Carolina holds the record for the most assists in a single game, with an impressive 36 assists in a 1988 game against Loyola Marymount. President Bill Clinton. Arkansas Razorbacks fan President Bill Clinton made history as the first sitting president to attend NCAA tournament games in person. First NCAA tournament. In the very first NCAA tournament game on March 17, 1939, Villanova won against Brown with a score of 42-30. The game took place in Philadelphia. NCAA and COVID-19. Even though COVID-19 canceled the 2020 tournament, the NCAA still managed to rake in $1.16 billion in revenue in 2021. Bets. An estimated $10 billion was bet on the 2022 NCAA tournament, which is roughly 30% more than the bets placed on the Super Bowl in the same year. Most steals. Louisville set a record in their 2013 opener by making 20 steals in a game against North Carolina A&T. Russ Smith played a big part with 8 steals, matching a record held by 4 other players. 70,000 seats. The NCAA mandates that the tournament arena must have at least 70,000 seats. This rule was established in 1997, initially setting the minimum capacity at 40,000 seats, but it was updated in 2009 to the current requirement. Syracuse. In 1991, Syracuse, with a number 2 seed, experienced a major upset in the opening round by a number 15 seed. Despite a strong record and star player Billy Owens, Syracuse struggled towards the end, allowing Richmond to pull off a surprising 73-69 victory. Consecutive NCAA appearances. Tom Izzo has an impressive record of 25 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances and counting, leading the Michigan State Spartans every year since 1998. He also clinched the 2000 National Championship. 2011 tournament. In the 2011 tournament, something rare happened. It was only the second time the 2 teams seeded 8th or higher both made it to the Final Four. The first time this occurred was in 2000, but back then the underdog teams didn't face each other. Oscar Robertson. In 1958, the legendary Oscar Robertson scored an impressive 56 points for Cincinnati in a regional third-place game against Arkansas. Not qualifying for NCAA. Harvard's dry spell from the NCAA tournament lasted an astounding 66 years. Finally, in the 2011 to 2012 season, they snagged an automatic bid by winning the Ivy League regular season title, putting an end to their decades-long absence. Barack Obama. In 2009, President Barack Obama revealed his NCAA bracket picks on live TV for the first time, sharing them with the nation on ESPN. 1966 NCAA Tournament. The 1966 NCAA tournament played a significant role in shifting racial attitudes in America. Back then, some teams hesitated to sign black players, and there was a widespread belief that teams with predominantly black players wouldn't exhibit self-control. However, the Texas Western Miners' victory against the Kentucky Wildcats in the 1966 NCAA tournament final marked a turning point in challenging these perceptions. NCAA and NIT. Did you know that the National Invitation Tournament, the NIT, used to be seen as a bigger deal than the NCAA tournament? In the beginning, it had 6 teams and happened at Madison Square Garden. Being in the NIT meant college teams got more media attention. The name Final Four. The NCAA officially started using the name Final Four in 1978. Later, the name was trademarked. $169.4 million. From the 2021 tournament, the NCAA shared $169.4 million in basketball-related funds with D1 schools. Loyola Marymount. Loyola Marymount's high-scoring offense set a record in 1990 by scoring 149 points against Michigan. This game also holds the record for the most combined points by both teams in a single game, totaling 264 points. 16th seed. In 2018, the University of Maryland Baltimore County made history as the first 16th seed to defeat a number 1 seed, taking down the University of Virginia. 3-point shot. Before the 3-point shot was introduced, Austin Carr scored the most points in a single game, hitting 61 in 1970. Carr, who later played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, achieved this feat while playing for the University of Notre Dame. University of Connecticut. The University of Connecticut holds a unique record as the only school to win both the men's and women's national championships in the same year, achieving this feat in 2004 and 2014. March Madness Anthem. In 1986, David Barrett wrote the March Madness Anthem about basketball, initially intending it for Super Bowl 21. However, due to a lengthy game, CBS decided to use it for the tournament in 1987, and it became a historic part of March Madness ever since. 2022 Tournament. The 2022 tournament was the 40th anniversary of the Women's Championship that started in 1982. Ronald Reagan. The 1981 championship game between Indiana and North Carolina took place on the same day that Ronald Reagan was shot. Pizza and beer. March Madness contributes significantly to Americans consuming a ton of beer and pizza during March. Youngest winning coach. In only the second NCAA tournament ever, Emmett Branch McCracken made history as the youngest coach to win a March Madness title. He achieved this feat at the age of 31, leading Indiana's team to victory in the 1940 tournament. Most Final Four appearances. 5 schools, Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, UCLA, and North Carolina, have reached the Final Four more than 10 times. In 2017, North Carolina made history by becoming the first team to reach 20 Final Fours. Most appearances without a Final Four. Back in 1981, BYU guard Danny Ainge made a memorable buzzer beater against Notre Dame, securing a spot in the Elite Eight. This remains the closest the Cougars have come to reaching the Final Four in 30 attempts, making them the team with the most appearances without making it to the semifinals. Most Final Four appearances by a coach. Coach Mike Krzyzewski, also known as Coach K, holds the record for the most Final Four appearances with 13. His impressive journey spanned over 30 years, starting with Duke's first Final Four in 1986 and concluding with his last appearance in 2022. Impact on companies and employees. Roughly 1 in 7 fans admits to playing hooky at least once during March Madness just to catch the tournament. Point shaving scandal. While the NCAA tournament has had several point shaving scandals, the initial one occurred in 1950. The scandal happened in 1978, leading to significant prison sentences for those implicated. Increase in crime. During March Madness, scammers take advantage of the excitement, sending around 3.4 billion fake emails to trick unsuspecting fans. Cultural impact. The tournament has gone beyond just sports. It's become a cultural sensation, impacting music, movies, and everyday references. This has firmly established it as a beloved and celebrated event in American society.